So, we had the Knicks against the Heat. Deciding tiebreaker game between these two. If the Knicks win, they have the tiebreaker over the Heat, and the Heat are essentially, well, not going to be able to do anything against the Knicks this season in terms of standings, even if the Knicks lose out. And they started off great, but then they just kind of scored the first 8 points and couldn't hit anything from the floor. There were some really ugly offense. Really slow paced as well. That's what both teams kinda do and want in a way. Here is a great relocation 3-pointer in the corner from Duncan Robinson to put the Heat up 9 early on in the second quarter. But as it is with the Heat this year, they are just rough and inconsistent. Emmanuel quickly. The bench was spectacular quickly, as has been one of the best sixth men of the year this season. He's probably not gonna win it, but he's right there. And as Jalen Brunson beats the buzzer here to give the Knicks the lead here at halftime, which was really important in my opinion, as they, weren't great overall in this first half, but they still had the lead. They were in this game really well, and despite all of this, I thought the Knicks would kind of blow them out here, but the Heat had some fight in them, as Tyler Hero ties the game here at the end of the third, but I was proven wrong eventually, as the Knicks started this fourth quarter spectacular. They defended really well, and the bench mob with Quentin Grimes just locked down this Heat offense, which was just really rough. And RJ Barrett, after struggling the whole night, knocks down the dagger here in the corner as the Heat lose to the Knicks and are now a game and a half back behind the Nets for that 6th seed, which is really important for the Heat, because that would mean they would not have to, of course, play the play-in, but I mean, maybe they just want the Celtics in the first round, right? With the way the Heat have been playing, with the way the Heat have been playing, I just can't see them winning a playoff series this year. But I would put my money on it, to be quite honest with you. But I don't think I'm saying something controversial here, truly, right? But the Knicks, I would say, with this win, essentially lock up this fifth seed in a way, even though they still do have some games to go here against the Nets, who won tonight, but I just don't think the Knicks will blow this one. I believe they'll lock this up. They have 5 games to go. It's a 2.5 game difference. I think they have this 5th seed locked up, which essentially means they have the first round series against the Cavs locked up, which will be fun. I will pick Cleveland, to be completely honest with you, right? But it is really important. As for the game overall, the one thing that really, of course, is bad for the Knicks is that Julius Randle had to leave the game after suffering an injury, which I have not read much about, but I would not expect it to be anything serious. But let me check for you and for me, because actually it is really important, and we need to know his ankle. It was his ankle, yes, and he did not return, and there have not been anything. There is no news yet, so we'll have to wait and see how the ankle responds. But I would guess, even if he has to sit out some games here at the end, it wouldn't matter really, right? And he's gonna be ready for the playoffs, hopefully, at worst. Jalen Brunson played. Was an okay game from him. Still felt his impact really well, even though he scored just 12 points. You felt his impact all night, and it was the bench mob and Quentin Grimes that really brought this game for the Knicks. Quentin Grimes at 23 points, set the tone early, quickly off the bench brought them back into this game with 24, 4 assists and 3 steals. Isaiah Hartenstein has been hooping, and he also has been great off the bench, and of course the role player all-star in Josh Hart. He's gonna show up in a big game. While for the Heat, I don't even want to talk about the Heat really. Shout out Gabe Vincent, he was good. Jimmy not aggressive enough, got to the line just 2 times, was a bad game from him. The same goes for Bam Adebayo. Kevin Love continues to shoot bricks, which, I mean, to be fair, hey man, he's just getting old, and he might not have it there, which is unfortunate, because he's a really nice dude and a really nice player when he's on, but when the on is just not there anymore that much. There is really not much to say about the Heat. It's the same old story with them, and they are just not gonna make any noise this year, man.